Uh, talk about the wheat and the tares. But really, we see these tares are amongst us as these NWO Saturn shills, Satan worshiping shills. And they literally go to great lengths to advertise that. And you're going to see a perfect example. I'm going to talk about the tares and the wheat from a unique perspective, just real quick, that comes from the book of Matthew, chapter 13. It's the words of Jesus Christ, which are always so perfect and true and relative at any age. In any age, are they not? So, uh, let's take a look here at the translation of somebody's username. Okay, and this is somebody that has been basically hacking away at this channel for a long time. Okay, in some ways ever so subtly, but I also notice that whenever I comment to people that are new subs, or there's new subs that are really just people looking for the truth, I always go back and see this person on their channel just hammering away, just like I just so recently did today. And it prompted me to think a little bit more deeply about this person and to see if there was something, like so many other of these agents have shown me with their choice of usernames and avatars, that if there was really something deeper there. And man, I really was surprised about actually what this name really meant. So, in viewing this in perspective of the tares that have been sown in amongst the good seed in reflection of that parable, what we see is that there are people pretending to be believers in the gospel, pretending to be disciples, even pretending to be your brother and friend in Jesus Christ, that are absolutely diametrically opposed to you and the gospel of Jesus Christ. They've aligned themselves with another. They've aligned themselves with Satan. And it seems that they're not afraid to tell the world about it, meaning their world. They're coded initiates that can read their code and their drama and everything that they, put forth in a sneaky, deceptive way. But to the unsuspecting, they go on ranting in a hypocritical fashion, pretending to be Christians, doing nothing but seeking to cause strife and chaos on these Christian YouTube channels. That is their goal, that is their job, that is their agenda, that is what they're doing. And I've had personal experience with this person, and many of you probably have too. So let this be a warning to this person that their gig is up, at least in perspective of me. I full know what you're all about now, and I will treat you accordingly. So nonetheless, the translation of this person's username literally says this: Immortal Lord Satan Saturn. Saturn and Satan to these people is interchangeable. But to really us, me, I think of Saturn as a planet, nothing more. But I know in their astrotheology, their coded creation epic mythos, we see that Saturn plays a prominent role. And if you dig deep enough, you will see that these people believe Saturn is some sort of misplaced sun. And of course, in the hodgepodge of it all, they reject the current sun in favor of this dark and shadowy other one. And then, of course, Nibiru is a part of the deception to completely send everybody off on a wild goose chase nonetheless. But as we have seen in the Bible, that there is something celestial that is related to this ancient Angona system, not just particularly this planet Nibiru, which in all actuality is known as the planet Jupiter. And these people have pulled a big psyops like you wouldn't believe. And you can just simply Google type Sumerian Nibiru Jupiter and you'll see it come up. So nonetheless, there's so much of their psyops that it's unreal. There's so many layers. You got to realize that if they're being so sneaky and so secretive, what are they trying to hide? Well, they're trying to hide a murderous act. All this lies and this deception is to keep you unaware of what's about to go down, and then at the same time expose you to their doctrines against Jesus Christ, so that you will now somehow become in favor of this freaking serpent. Unreal. The snake in the grass, which every one of these people portray with their actions, at least to me. And then now you're going to see this to you. These people are lying to you. So just do your best to realize what's really real, and then these people that are playing illusion, that are living a life of a lie, and actually have begun to believe it themselves. Translation, username, Immortal Satan, Lord Saturn Satan, Prince of the Air. This person's username says Immortal Lord Satan, Prince of the Air. Incredible. This is what's known as a tear, meaning this type of agent, this type of person that is pretending to be a believer in Jesus Christ. And then by unfortunate consequence, many of you unsuspecting believers think that this man is your friend. Well, to my experience, he's been no friend. He's only been an accuser, a slanderer, and a mocker, and an attacker. And he has had a long history of that on this channel. So I have no problem in my personal experience understanding his actions are perfectly a reflection of his choice of usernames. So if this is what's known as a tear, you got to see that the parable of the wheat and the tares reflects to what you see now in the Monster Energy drink, which is now the symbolism for the mark of the beast, of a snarling beast, is somebody that is taking swipes at you, predatory clawing you and tearing at you, just as these YouTube PSYOPs agents are paid to do. Now, not all of these people are paid agents. Some of these people are fulfilling occult agendas. Some of these people are fulfilling personal vendettas, envy and greed and jealousy, all of those things that go together with a dark heart, an unfortunate dark heart. Okay, so when we see this terror evolves into this terror. And then, of course, we see that it's the war on terror, but in all actuality, that is the war with terror that is being waged on the full scale, the macro, and then down on the micro scale with these footmen, agents of Saturn on YouTube, who are not afraid to advertise it, as we'll see. So we go from terror to terror to tear. And then now we go to the 666, the mark of the beast symbol, unleash the beast. And many of you know that this is all symbolism from Hebrew letter number code. Okay? Which literally means 666. Incredible. All symbolized as the beast's tear. So when Jesus Christ is talking about these tares that are sown amongst us, he's talking about these beasts, these leviathans that go from hot to cold, light to good, or light to dark, good to evil, friend to foe. And how many times have I been supposedly befriended by many of these legion only to be betrayed over and over and over again? But yet, don't worry, I'm still your friend. I'm not your friend in your cult of Satan, Saturn, or whatever kind of stuff you got going on. I'm your friend just simply as a fellow human that has a fellow creator that somehow this world has gotten confused over very severely by some early ones that guided and fell. And I will tell you now, there is no confusion, there is no hypocrisy, there is no wickedness, there is no darkness, there is no slander, there is no accusation, and there is no judgment in telling you that all men are brothers, that racism is bad, that murder is evil. Those are truths, those are facts that even a child could discern. Thou shalt not kill. Think about it, Israel. Think about it. There's none of that, but there is dishonor and deception and lying to people and pretending to be something you're not, so that you can keep them unaware, so that you can gain over them. Well, Jesus Christ says, what do you do when you gain the world but you lose your soul? Who's he speaking to? You people that are trying to gain the world. Think about it. Think about it. So who is this YouTube user that quite possibly could be a YouTube shill agent of Saturn? In my mind, this person is, based upon my experience. Ye shall know them by their fruits. But at the same time, you got to realize that this is this person's choice of usernames. Ambrose Bel Air. And I got to thinking about you, friend, after I saw that you had visited a recent subscriber of mine, and I could see you were just hacking on them. And I begin to recognize you guys' patterns too. And it's no secret what you're doing, and you are very easy to expose because, as we know, you expose yourself. You expose yourself, as Jakari's done, as See the Truth has done. And See the Truth, I have nothing against you. It's unfortunate that you're wrapped up in this Luciferian BS. It's unfortunate that you've been tempted, but yet you are bright. You are smart. You are beautiful. You know, I don't mean that in an attractive way. I mean that as a beautiful person. You are one of God's children. You're one of God's children of the same God that I worship and know as Jesus Christ. You are his child, and he loves you. And I love you. I love Jakari73. I love Bill. I love Eric. And, you know, I know these people are going to laugh and, of course, point more fingers, and they get me angry, and they, you know, attack me night and day all the time, you know, weighing in on my emotions. But I just know that, you know, I know what the truth is. And the truth is that you guys, you know, you guys think you're doing right. I know that. But I'm trying to get you to see that to enter this kingdom like a little child, you got to do what is morally, obviously right, and within the same perspective of the teaching that you guys have professed that you follow, and that's Jesus Christ. Do unto others as you would have done unto them. You know? Think about it, man. Think about it, guys. Think about it, Ambrose Bel Air. You know? You're living a lie, and you're lying to people, and you're going around as a big, gigantic hypocrite. What kind of honor is there in that? I mean, you guys are affiliated with this Knights stuff, you know, all this Knight honor and all this different night, dark night, what have you. There's no honor in betraying people. There's no honor in it. Doesn't matter what anybody has been, you know, exposed to. What they've been exposed to is the deception. They themselves are not the deception. It's the deception itself, you know, which is more philosophical. It's a philosophical, religious, retarded, spiritual-like entity that's non-progressive and convulsive and vain and repulsive, and it's an abomination. You know, that is the enemy. You know, not each other. The devil has everybody dividing and conquering each other from the kingdoms of men themselves over race doctrines and gene doctrines and blood type doctrines. Give me a break. Give me a break. All that's fueled by national pride. And then that pride is nurtured by jealousy and envy. And that jealousy and envy is the mask of cowardice and fear. That's the truth. That's the truth. There's no honor and glory in murdering and getting people deceived. If you are what you are, tell people what you are. If you believe Satan is the good one, set you up a good old channel telling people outright front that you believe in Satan, and offer all the information up that you can that he's this supposed good guy. And there are people that do that. And guess what? These people got some self-respect. But for you people that are liars, cowards, that have been hiding behind this BS for so long, and they're doing nothing but trying to confuse and deceive other people, those are your brothers. They got the free will to choose as they see fit, do they not? Let them make a choice. Back off. Let these people make their own choices. Do what's right for once. You've made your choice. Would you want a bunch of howling, cackling wolves slobbering and snarling and tearing at you because you see differently than them? Do unto others as you'd have done unto you. He speaks that for a reason. He speaks it because it's the truth. Ambrose Belair, my friend, why be a shill? Why be an agent of this Saturn? Ambrose literally means immortal. Look it up. Belair, another name for Saturn, Satan. Google it. Belair is another name for Saturn or Satan. Now, as you should know, these people are all wrapped up in the Saturn stuff, and they know a lot about the Saturn stuff. They know all about the symbols and all this stuff, and they want to point and accuse, point fingers at everybody else because of this stuff that nobody else knows about, nobody else cares about, because to the real people of this world, Saturn is a freaking planet. But what I offer is the root of the truth of Saturn in his real form is a high spirit being of malice and wickedness, a high light being that has fallen, known as Satan. And then, of course, this Saturn is the ringer, the red herring. It's the propaganda. It's the diversion. The very same thing that they're offering at the same time with Obama as the ringer, who most certainly is not the Antichrist. Think about it. Think about it. So Ambrose means immortal. Belair is another name for Saturn and Satan. Why? Okay. Bel means Baal. It's another term, a biblical term for Baal, Baal, Lord. Get ready for it. And then air equals Satan as the prince of the powers of the air. Right out the Bible. Right out the Bible. Now you know that Satan was good before he fell. He is an original created light being that was entrusted into a portion of universal service, of which did in some ways connect with the kingdoms of men. And then we see that this being has fell, but at the same time he's fallen with the knowledge that he was entrusted with, and one of those is the powers of the air that you now see displayed as the symbol of the sine wave. Anything moving, any energy moving through the friction of air creates a sine wave. And when I say energy, translates to resonance, tone, or vibration. As you know, they're all about raising your vibration, which now is raising your static, which now turns into the very same white noise that you see on your television set, that black and white fuzz that they call bees. A swarm of bees on the old TVs, the television. So the sine wave itself is a symbol for the crooked serpent, which is the knowledge of the powers of the air that Satan was absolutely entrusted with, which now he is corrupted as he's taught to the children, basically, of the devil. Because Jesus Christ never refers to just mere unbelievers as the children of the devil. He refers to spiritual and religious unbelievers as the children of the devil, because these religious and spiritual peoples that reject him have chosen another, therefore by default making their father their adopted in, so to say, by the devil. Of course, through their harlot mother, which is now Ishtar, now related to that whore Israel. Israel has been an adulterous wife right out of Jehovah's mouth, and she has taken unto her another husband, which has now adopted these children in, supposedly as his royal children, but we know it's all a false covenant. All a false covenant. A grand scheme that the ones seeking the knowledge the most fervently themselves, the very supposed elect, have been deceived, just as the prophecy says. This elect remnant Okay? This elect select has now been deceived. It says in some instances that they couldn't, but I see that if they're running around saying Satan is the prince, their lord, immortal prince power, lord of the airs for them, then yeah, they've been deceived. They've been deceived. And it's the very same people that think they're the elect. So we see that the true elect are the ones that are not deceived, that are fighting through this, that are taking the heat, that are taking the wolves, and are ready for all the pain that you can dish, everything that you got, everything you got. You got nothing I can't take. You got nothing that's going to take away what I'm here to give. Nothing. Nothing. Try as you wish. Do as you wish. But the Father, I'm going to do His wish. And I'm going to do it through the power of Jesus Christ. I'm going to do it with or without. Before, during, and after. Many of you have gone. That's just a simple fact. It's a simple fact of the matter. So, Ambrose Belair, I think it's time for a name change if, you just so happen to be a real believer in Jesus Christ. I mean, I guess you would want to know that your name actually is professing and hailing Satan as your immortal Lord. But I guess we'll just see what your actions are going to be all about, nonetheless. Now, if we take a quick look at tears, the video could go out. I don't have much memory left on the camera before I have to erase some things. And I tell you, this is so important, okay? Before we do that, let's check out something here on Saturn, all right? Because as we see, with the Bel Air thing, if you just simply Google it, you can see that that is another name for Saturn/Satan. They pair that up together themselves, not me, okay? So I find it completely and totally ironic and a huge slap in the face to all these people pretending to be believers in Jesus Christ that are now being outed as Satanists. It's incredible. I find it appalling and dissatisfying and weak, really. I find it weak. Some of you people, real weak. And there's no honor in it. You've got no honor. You don't really have any self-respect. So you need to get a little self-respect here. And if you're gonna fight a war, right? You're gonna battle. You want to battle? Well, if you got what it takes, don't cheat. Come straight at me with all you got. Come straight at me as a Satanist, and come on and battle me. We'll see who's got the truth. And I'm not talking about on the comments page. Anybody. I'm open for public debate with anyone. I don't care if you guys bring Einstein back out of some cryogenic chamber. If he's not speaking the truth of Jesus Christ, I'll set that man down. I'll set him down. Anybody step up, and if you guys got the balls, I don't care who you are, where you're from, where you studied, how many college degrees you got, or how many rabbis you got patting you on the back. I don't care who you are. I can bring it. I can bring it. It's not me that brings it. I'm the vessel that allows it through my faith. And I allow the truth of Jesus Christ to move through me freely. And I'm ready. I'm ready anytime. I've already put a call out to Bashar, what have you, any of these people. If you guys really got this knowledge, right, and you want to start speaking to me about anything, I don't care what it is, physics, quantum mechanics, qualitative, fractional physics, whatever it is, I'm ready. I don't care. I'll put every last drop of this into a spiritual truth of poetic grace and form that the likes of you have never imagined. Never imagined. And whoever steps up to me, you will look like a feeble minded, blind child. Sound like ego? Or does it sound like confidence? Or does it sound like faith? I know what it sounds like. More importantly, I know what it is. It's the truth. I'm not afraid to speak it. So, like Bill's got his channel, Time Will Tell. We got our Saturn for time here. All right? Very interesting. Planet, sun, God. Now, here's where we come with Saturn somehow becoming their sun. All right? As I'm beginning to understand it. Maybe I'm wrong with that. At least Freemasonic wise. I'm not saying all these people are Freemasons. I'm saying that they're doing a lot of encoded Freemasonic things, and they're running around 33 in this and 33 in that, and they're Masonic avatars and all this stuff in the King James. He's a Mason, and all this stuff is Masonically encoded with Ephraim and the mystery religions. Ecclesiastical Babylon is actually these secret societies from Mystery Babylon, which in turn is the fraternal orders of Freemasonry, influenced by Egyptian Templar Knight Freemasonry, infused from Babylonian mysticism. Plain and simple. So this is all their stuff. All right, this is how they see stuff. Saturn, time, planet, sun, God. Okay, they got this planet Saturn as some sort of God. Now, it's interesting because there's individual things that we can look up here. And if we just look up God for this portion, and where was that at? 379.2 or 979.2. This is that Rajit's Thesaurus, which is just showing me some incredible things here. Okay. 9792. And then we go 9792. And it gives us all of these things that are connected to these gods that are planetary. And I tell you, this begins to open up a lot of understanding. This Kronos Saturn situation there at the end, connected right there at the beginning of the understanding of the goddesses. Now there's a whole bunch of information that begins to start developing here. And if we were to just now begin to try to connect this with our understanding of the tears, okay, and then how it's connected to Satan, because it's Jesus Christ that says Satan is the one who is sown in the tares amongst the good seed. And as I've showed you an example of somebody pretending to be one of these good seeds, a believer in Jesus Christ and the gospel of the kingdom, which is really proving himself to be a terror of Satan. Perfectly. I mean, fractal complete. And then if we look at what begins to develop out of this Saturnalian stuff here that we're going to see, just take a close look here. It says Saturnalia. We'll go to debauch 954.2. Okay, very important here. Very important. If we look at 954.2, we'll start reading some words I probably will pronounce wrong. Dissipation, licentiousness, free living, high living. Ever heard the expression high and dry? Okay, and then of course their expression do it thou wilt. And of course it comes, made popular by Aleister Crowley. Do it thou wilt. Free living, do it thou wilt. Okay, of course. They're not about the understanding of the truth, the mercy, of Jesus Christ and do unto others as you would have done unto you. Connected to this high living. We know high and dry is a popular saying, is it not? High and dry. Have you ever heard that expression? And then, of course, this high living is them going to the land of Shinar. All this is associated with their debauchery. All of this is associated with this word Saturnalia, revelry. Okay, now we look at the adjectives. Dissipated, licentious, dissolute, debauched, free living again, high living, saturnalian, orgastic. Remember, this is all about a consummation. This is all about an impregnation. This is all about a birth. This is all about a lust, a covenant of lust, not a covenant of love. And then we know that the incubuses and the succubuses are associated with sexual lust. And then we see inky, and then we get the word incubus. They're trying to incubate these cockatrice eggs that we see in Isaiah. Now that's associated with Ishtar and Easter, where we see the fertility rabbits who do not lay eggs are now associated with these eggs of Ishtar, which are the cockatrice, which you should know of as the serpent. And here's our little perfect fractal complete cockatrice serpent Easter egg right there. And of course, that's a hermetic seal. An egg is a seal. It's the most well-known natural seal in the natural world. The most naturally, hermetically sealed thing is an egg. And of course, all this is figurative symbolism that is being exposed. So Saturnalian is all associated to these debauched ones, these free living, do what thou wilt, high living ones, these high and soon to be dry ones. You see this fractal fulfilling before your face? These orgastic, and then we get into incontinent, rakish, and then now unchaste. Bingo. Unchaste. Now, when we're talking in perspective to the wheat and the tares, this is where it begins to become crucial to understand here. Because what you should understand is that this is telling you a better fulfillment of who is associated, as we saw in that other video with the camel that was now associated with Satan, which we saw in my drawing in their land of Shinar on the moon, overlooking this rocket situation. Okay? It's the same thing showing you right here. High living Israel. You see that? Saturnalian. Okay? And it's all associated with an unchastised woman. Incredible. And then look what just comes in right under it, which is a perfect description of Ishtar and her harlot configuration, in which Israel is called a harlot in the Bible. Plain and simple. All right. Let's take a look further. This video might stop. If it does, I'll come back with part 2, showing you some things out the Bible, which are going to be very important. Don't miss it. Do not miss it. But I'm going to show you the next connection with this. Remember this unchaste, which is in association with a woman, an unchastised woman, that Israel, which we see as free living and high living. Ezekiel 19 describes Israel's mother